Get funky.
All right, welcome back to the Biz, where we're all up in it. I'm your boy Daniels D Money up here in Senior Valley.
And I'm Aaron down in San Diego.
All right. How tired of you are you of watching the news?
Oh God, I've I've blacked out.
I
I
mean,
watched it.
yeah,
It's been the
yeah. I
same
mean,
thing for a week, 2 weeks.
it has been. I mean, and there are important things going on, and we need to know about them. But it's almost. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. For me, it's overload. I'm overwhelmed sometimes when I watch the news, and I don't know what to do about that. You know.
For me, they're just at this point, for lack of a better phrase, you're just beating a dead horse. It's probably really bad, but it's we get it. These people are marching, but now what? You've made your point. You've marched for a week. Now what?
Now what? There has to be accountability. All right, because we got people and everybody, not just black people. We've got blacks, whites, they are banding together and they're asking for, we need this, we need police reform, right? Minneapolis is defunding and dismantling their police department, right? And people are asking for this, some type of reaction, which let me just go on the record saying I think it's a bad idea, but people are asking for change. So I think there needs to be accountability. When it comes to the police brutality issue, yes, there needs to be some police reform. Uh, Definitely, there has to be better vetting practices um, because all the cops out there aren't bad, but we need to have better vetting so we can try to catch some more of these bad apples that are out there, right? Because there's bad apples in every profession. Just right now, it just happens to be police brutality, and people are screaming about it. So there needs to be accountability with the police. However, there also needs to be accountability with the citizens. Because let's say the police change. Let's say they do everything we ask them to do. But we, the citizens, don't change. And by citizens, I mean the black people, the white people, the Hispanic people, the Asian people, and any other people that are left out of that equation. It's our responsibility. If we're going to change the nation, it can't be just the police that are changing the nation. We have to do it ourselves. It has to be all of us. It has to be a group effort.
Absolutely. And what's interesting is watching the news for the past week. That's all they've talked about is the police angle. Not one news outlet has said, "Why don't we have the citizens take follow the law classes?"
Right.
It can't be that hard. The police are pretty invisible if you're following the law and doing what you're supposed to do. Sometimes it's probably a really boring job, but
They really
someone's got
are.
to,
Yeah.
they're invisible.
Yeah. Because you roll that stop sign and then you see the cop. And most times you're like, where'd they come from? You see them in
give
your
him
rearview mirror.
you give you give him props on his hiding spot. Like
Right? You're
it's
like,
a great spot.
exactly. You
you
were
know, but
good. You're looking behind you to see the spot he was in. Like, where'd he come from?
exactly. And
Yeah.
it's for me at the end of the day, it's just money. It's just a ticket. We put them in these positions to enforce the rules, the speed limit, rolling stop signs. Keep in mind, these cops see things that we should nobody should see, but they've seen things we haven't seen. Horrible accidents, and that's why these rules are in place. I as much as I'd love for everybody to be better, which would overall lower the prison population across the nation, but it I don't know.
Well, I mean,
It's just
that's part of the accountability though thing.
yeah,
Everybody being better, right? So and I want to be clear, when I say the citizens need to take accountability too. I mean, police brutality, that's what's going on right now. We're talking about the George Floyd murder and the inequities and the punishments that cops get, when they kill unarmed black men, right? That's the issue. And then police brutality. Um, but we have, and by we I mean black people, we have to do better. We do.
absolutely.
We can't beg for the police to change. We can't beg for the laws to change. and then have us just go back to our normal, right? If they're going to change, we got to change, right? And again, like I said earlier, everyone's got to change, but we are screaming the loudest, so we have to make sure that we do better as well, right? And as far as the police and the citizens, it can't be us against them. And that's how it is. That's how it's kind of been. You see that in the protests. Like the
And
police
yeah,
come out and they're doing their protesting, and there were more incidences of police brutality during the protests. You see them all the time, where the two white cops push the old guy over, and he
oh,
busted it open,
that
right?
was
I mean, but aside from all of that, right? Um, it seems as it's been with the rioters and the looting, and us against them. The police come out. Obviously, they have a job to do, and it's them against the citizens. And the looters and the rioters and the protesters, they're all thinking the same thing. It's us against them. We have to kill that, right?
it's
Us is us. There is no them.
exactly.
We need to get it together.
I agree 100%, and it's you can tell too because when the group of police come in, they're like, oh yeah, we're gonna get them. And then when the looters come, oh yeah, we're gonna. I mean, it's this like a primitive battlefield where we meet in the middle, and
Right.
and it's I just don't know how you get 300 million people to be better, and maybe not even 300 million because most people are pretty decent. I believe that it's probably what keeps us from killing each other. Most people, all
Right.
colors, are pretty decent, but there's enough. There's a chunk of the population, all colors, that just needs to get it together.
Well, I mean, I think the looters were proof of that, right? Think about this. Let's say I'm a criminal, and or I have criminal tendencies, right? And I want to go out and do bad stuff. But because I realize there is law enforcement and there are laws in place, I'm not a criminal. But then the protests happen. People are out there looting. So I call you up. I'm like, yo, let's run out here and go get that TV we need. And if we get away with it, it's not on us, right? Not personally anyway, because there's a riot going on. It's going to be blamed on the looting and whoever it falls on. But as long as we get away, we're good, right? And that's what
Yeah,
brought them out, because, hey, this is a prime opportunity for us to do what we need to do and not get caught. Now, imagine this is my worry with Minneapolis, because Minneapolis is a large city, right? I mean, that's what the POLIS on the end of it stands for. Like it's a metropolitan city. It's
yeah.
big, right? So um, you have a city like Minneapolis. If they deconstruct their police department, I don't know if they're going to go to community policing or not. I don't know what their plan is, but I would think that would invite that element, right? Ooh, the police are
I
not. You know what I mean? I would think that
they're
if I'm in
the
a city
police.
where they're
The
defunding or taking them apart, I'd be
yes,
like, yes, ooh,
the
now I can
police
go
are a
out.
little softer. They're
Yeah, so
a
that's
little
that's my
softer,
worry with that. That's my worry with that.
and it. I'm not a fan of it, and I'm confused on the term with sort of community policing. At the end of the day, I'm still not running into the gunfight. It,
Right,
it takes a
right.
special kind of person to do that. Hats
It
off to all
does.
cops out there, but I'm not that guy.
Right. So, all right. So you asked where we go from here, and I said there has to be accountability. Um, One of the first things we need to do to start getting that accountability, so we can get that reform on both sides, is we need to go to the polls. We need to vote, especially Black people. Go out there and vote. You got to vote, right? And I'm not talking about just for president. I got something I want to read real quick. It can't be just for president, because a lot of times when people hear go vote, they think, well, I don't care about the president, I'm not going to vote for president. It's not just about that. It's about everyone on every level under that. So you need to vote for your city council members. Get out there and vote for them, because they represent you in city hall, and they're responsible for everything that goes on in your city, like the budget, transportation, all that stuff, right? And so if you are voting for someone in the city council who cares about the rundown neighborhood you live in, and they're willing to fight for it, that's a plus for you, no matter which neighborhood you live in, right? You got to go out there and vote for your judges. You got to know who these people are. It's not just about voting for the president, because 9 times out of 10, and I think we've had a discussion, what the president does in Washington very rarely affects what goes on my street, right?
Absolutely.
The mayor, make sure you know who you're voting for mayor. If we can get people in all of these positions who are actually on the same agenda, which is the agenda of, equality, and making sure that if you commit said crime, regardless of whether you're white or black, you get said punishment. There shouldn't be this major disparity, right? We're talking about the Brock Turner case the other day, the white kid who I think he graduated from Stanford. Was it Stanford he went to?
Yeah.
Up in he was, I guess this happened in Santa Clara. I forget exactly where it happened, but he raped an unconscious girl, right?
Yeah.
Or
or sexually assaulted, whatever the term is.
right,
And
sexually assaulted. He raped her, sexually assaulted her, whatever the case may be. He got 6 months because the judge said that he saw himself in him because he was a similar type of kid when he was in college. So he didn't want this to ruin this kid's life. So he gets 6 months because the law states the judge can sentence him anywhere from 6 months to 15 years, right?
yeah,
But what's his name? Corey Bader. I want to make sure I don't say the name wrong. I gotta look it up. Black kid does the same thing. Like within just a few months, has sex with an unconscious woman.
Unconscious girl.
He gets 15 years. And might I say, the judge who gave him 15 years was not white.
My issue with that case has been the gap shouldn't be that big. I shouldn't have the option of giving you 6 months to 15 years.
Yeah, it's a horrible gap.
It's a terrible gap. If it was 13 years or 15 years, I'll give you that. I'll give you a 2-year gap. But essentially 14 and a half year gap, and you have the discretion for that. It's crazy.
Because then you have a
Absolutely
judge
ridiculous.
who's like, oh, I see myself in him, 6 months. And then you have another judge who's actually doing the job who's like, dude, you can't go around raping unconscious women, 15 years, right? So there needs to be, equality there, equity there, right? Is equity the right word?
Or consistency.
Yes, let's go with that. I like that. So vote for your mayors, vote for your state legislators. Again, it's not just about voting for the president. Things that are going to affect me in Simi Valley are going to be affected by the people who run Simi Valley. And then we move up the chain. So state legislators, definitely your governor. Your governor has so much effect on what you do in your state, right? I should be worried about what Governor Newsom's doing. And then obviously members of Congress, you got to vote for them because they represent us in Washington, D.C., in the Senate and House of Representatives, right? And then obviously, we hope President number 46 is just a different human. I said it. And that's my opinion. I have a right to it, right? I'm not saying anything bad. I just think I hope it's a different guy.
I think just overall, I'm a big fan of the KISS principle. Just don't break the law.
Yeah.
Don't stab that guy.
Yeah.
Don't attack that woman. It's not that hard. It really isn't.
It's simple.
So where does the population go from here? How do we start educating, changing the suspect citizens as well as the police?
Well, I mean, like I said, we got to start with accountability, right? We got to make sure we get out there and vote to get the right people, to get people who all have the same agenda, which is the agenda of actually making this country great, right? Making it a country where, there's equality as far as, punishment and stuff like that, and make sure that we try to understand that this is the melting pot that we're trying to build. And
let's give the, and staying in true Bizz form, let's give the people the floor. If you have any great ideas on how we can get this party started on changing the mindset of the bad apples, or just the mindset of suspect communities, throw them in the comments.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
Put them in the comments. Yeah, because everyone's marching, everyone's shouting, change, 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 but no one's actually said what the plan is
Implementing.
going to be. Yes.
Implementing.
So
Nobody's,
yeah. So if you guys have an idea of what that should be, like Aaron said, put it in the comments. We want to hear about it. We want to know what you think, because that's kind of what we're driving for here in the Biz, right? Together, you and I get on here, but we like having guests on here to see what they think about stuff.
absolutely.
So that's the plan. And we want you guys to comment, tell us how we do it. And I guess hopefully us as citizens will all group together. And when I say all of us, I mean everyone, right? I think I tried to cover all the ethnicities. I tried to cover them all, right? We all need to get together.
The whole rainbow. There it is.
The whole rainbow. Everyone's got to get it.
Ah,
All right. So please, everyone, if you like the video, like what you're hearing, please give us a thumbs up. Again, like we said, tell us what you think in the comments. Please subscribe. All right. I'm Daniels D Money signing off from Senior Valley.
Aaron done an SD. Hit them comments.
And we out.
Bizz.